Today, I take you a look through my streaming setup and show you exactly how I broadcast my games on Twitch. Let's take a look. Alright, just like with my vinyl audio setup, let's not waste any time and get right into things, shall we? Let's begin with the powerhouse behind my set, which is my laptop. This is the Origin PC Evo 17S model. This has worked like a tank ever since I got it a couple of years ago. For those of you curious about the stats of this computer, it has an Intel i7 processor, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2080, and 32 gigabytes of RAM, which is perfect for when I need to run more intensive programs such as rendering videos in Premiere Pro, Photoshop, or multitasking for running OBS Studio and my gameplay at the same time. Moving on, here attached to my laptop is probably one of the most important pieces of my kit, which is the Elgato Camlink 4K. This device allows me to connect my camera to my laptop and use it as a webcam for my streams, and honestly, I don't think I could have made such an effective video feed if it wasn't for this little device right here. Speaking of cameras, this here is the primary camera for my stream. This is the Canon EOS M200. I picked this one up a while ago based on the few recommendations of other YouTubers such as Harris Heller of Alpha Gaming and Wild for Games. This camera allows me to shoot in a variety of resolutions such as 1080p and 4K, but I primarily stick to 1080p because, frankly speaking, I don't really see a point in shooting in 4K just at this moment in time since Twitch doesn't really allow for resolutions of that sort. But what good is a stream with nice video if you don't have the audio to back it up? And in this setup, I have two microphones set up at any given point in time. The first one, which is the black one, is the Shure SM7B, which I primarily use as my microphone on stream, and the silver one is my Blue Yeti USB microphone. I mainly stick to using two microphones because for the Shure SM7B, it's better for my purposes of streaming, but the Blue Yeti one I often use as a secondary recording, just so that way I have something a little bit more consistent and have something as a backup audio file just in case if something goes wrong. My next camera here is my actual phone, and this is the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. I had always wanted to integrate a second camera into my streams since I began doing it, but I didn't want to go out and buy a whole bunch more gear and a new camera just for the sake of adding one little addition to my stream. So I searched around online for different solutions, and I managed to find a way to actually integrate my phone as an additional webcam into my streams, and since then it's been pretty good in giving me an alternate angle for my viewers for enjoyment. Moving right along, we have the visual centerpiece of my setup, that being my monitor. This is an LG 27GL 850B unit. Wow, that's a bit of a mouthful. This monitor here is 27 inches wide with an IPS display, has a resolution of 1440p and a refresh rate of 144 Hz, and frankly, it just makes my games look absolutely gorgeous to look at while playing. This was probably among the most difficult pieces for me to pick out for my setup since there's a ton of options for monitors and you have to do a lot of careful research as to what you need for your monitor and how you need to use it. However, I'm extremely happy with this monitor, and honestly, this is everything I could want in my current setup, and I could not be any happier with it. And finally, we have my mixer for the setup where all the audio comes through. This is my TC Hellion Go XLR Mini. I went with this model mainly based on the recommendation of Epos Vox. I was kind of debating for a little while as to whether or not I should go with the larger unit or the smaller one, but since the smaller one basically had all the same functionalities as the big one, whereas this one is just the bare bones and essentials as to what I need it for my streaming setup, I decided based on Epos Vox recommendation to go with the mini model, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with it overall. Maybe I will upgrade to the larger unit at some point, but as of right now, I really have no complaints with how to use it. So there you go, folks. That is my streaming setup. It took a little bit of time to actually get a lot of this equipment together, and I had to slowly assemble it over time, but I thought that was part of the fun process of it, is that you kind of learn as you go, and assembling the whole thing together, and once you've got a cohesive system together, it's actually a lot of fun, and it feels very satisfying in its own way. And I'm actually excited for later down the line. I actually have a couple of tech upgrades planned, and I want to make sure that you guys are aware of this. So maybe I'll do another video about this later down the line, or some of the pieces that I have coming in. If you have any suggestions for tech upgrades or just questions about streaming in general, how to put the whole thing together, please comment down below and I might be able to make a video about it in the future. I'd love to hear from you guys. Oh, and before I forget to mention this, I might as well tell you that I stream on every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Time. In case if you want to join, I'd love to see you guys there. Until next time, take care.